If you're thinking about becoming a respiratory therapist, stick around to find out if that's the job for you. Hey guys, this is Daniel from Youre Media, and today I'm going to be talking about the 5 reasons why you should become a respiratory therapist. I've been a respiratory therapist for about 5 years, and I got a little bit of insider information as to what this profession is all about. Respiratory therapists have been around since about 1930. Now, before they were respiratory therapists, we called them inhalation therapists. Right around the 1940s, 1950s, they started gaining a little bit more prominence with schools popping up teaching people about respiratory care. Around the 1980s, the profession actually began to take shape and became what it is today. In hospitals, they're usually the comedic relief, yet lifesavers at the same time. Now, I personally love my job, so I recommend it to anybody. But here's 5 reasons why you should become a respiratory therapist or a respiratory care practitioner. Reason number 1, you become an expert in lungs. Now, prior to becoming a respiratory therapist, I knew very little about lungs. I didn't know much about disease processes. I didn't know much about what goes on in lungs and what happens to people that have certain diseases. Now, once I became a respiratory therapist, I became competent with the respiratory system and was able to help out a lot of family and friends. Now, so if you want to become competent in respiratory care, it's going to definitely help your knowledge of the lungs. Number 2 is you get to save people's lives almost daily. And if you don't necessarily save their lives, you're at least going to make them feel a lot better. When you're working as an RT, there's a lot of situations you have to deal with. Sometimes people come in and you have to do CPR and help save their life. And in the end, you're the reason why that person's still alive. Now, it is a team effort. Nurses and doctors help out, but you're the reason that they were breathing still. So you do get to go home most of the time and you feel like you've done something. You've actually helped save someone's life. Number 3, you're in a prestigious career. You not only get to work with amazing doctors and excellent nurses, but you do actually get paid pretty well, and you can establish a good life on the salary of a respiratory therapist in most places. A lot of people are looking for a good job or a good career, and not everybody likes working at a desk. As a respiratory therapist, you get to run around, you get to do a lot of things, you get to go to different departments, different floors, and interact with a lot of intelligent people. You also get to meet a lot of patients. Number 4, you're constantly challenged on the job, and you always learn something new. Now, what's cool about being a respiratory therapist is you're constantly being pushed to learn new things. Disease processes always increase, we always learn new things, and just when you start to get comfortable, there's a worldwide pandemic that affects the respiratory system, and you got to be on your toes, learning about it, and trying to see what you can do as a respiratory therapist. New studies are all constantly coming out, and we get to try different things and work with a lot of patients that have certain diseases that you've never seen before or heard of before. So as an RT, it gets exciting when you have to learn something new or learn about a whole disease process you never even thought existed. Number 5, you get to work with state-of-the-art technologies, you get to work with ventilators, and that's pretty exciting. Now, what's cool about working with ventilators is that anytime you watch a movie and they say somebody's on life support, they're probably on a ventilator, and that's exactly what you do. There's a lot of physics involved and a lot of tech stuff involved. So ventilators are just fascinating machines. If you want to work with something like a ventilator, you're definitely going to want to become a respiratory therapist. If you found this video because you're trying to become a respiratory therapist, I definitely recommend becoming one. It's been an amazing 5 years in my life, and I'm looking forward for the next 20, 30 years working as an RT. Now, if you have any questions about becoming a respiratory therapist, how to become one, the process, or even working as one, definitely write a comment below, and I'll love to answer your questions. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more of this content. Thank you guys.